The power forward position. A lot of legends have played important roles here. From Tim Duncan to Kevin Garnett to Dirk Nowitzki to other star players like Dennis Rodman, Kevin Love, and Pau Gasol. Nowadays, a lot of these players can play close to the basket or help stretch the floor a little bit more. This is Hit the Rim, and in today's video, I'll be ranking the top 10 power forwards going into the 2025-2026 NBA season. But before we even get into the video, I do want to cover a few house cleaning things. Players who are not expected to come back from injury will not be on this list. Players who were injured at the beginning of last year but played towards the end of the season and in the playoffs will be on this list. This list is a combination of what that player looked like last year and what their potential upcoming season will look like. Just because one player is one spot above someone else doesn't mean that there's a big gap between the two. And also, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe button to help the channel grow, and comment down below in your own list if you're interested in telling me your top 10 power forwards. But before we even get started with the actual top 10 list, I do want to go through a few honorable mentions, and my first honorable mention is Zion Williamson. The one thing with Zion is he needs to be healthy. He's only played in about 43% of his possible games. He only played about 30 games last year. From all the media coverage that we've seen, he's actually been able to slim down a little, and I'm not really sure if I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on this one or not, but we do have to remember when he is healthy, he is a beast offensively. He also does have the potential to be a dominant-like player. I don't know if he would be as dominant as Giannis, considering how tall he is, but he does show a lot of ability to get to that type of level. I feel like one of his biggest weaknesses, though, is the defensive side of the ball. It kind of feels like he doesn't take that side of the ball as seriously as he did when we saw him in college, but I'm really hoping that he will take the defensive side a little more seriously this year. And the one thing is, please stay healthy, because I really do think that Zion is a joy to watch. It just really sucks that he's injured all the time. My next honorable mention is Julius Randle. He finally put to bed that whole, oh, he's a really bad playoff performer, which he has been the last few years until last year. Because last year he actually did have a good playoffs. He did have a slow start to the season, but then again, he was getting traded from New York all the way to Minnesota, where the offense was going to be ran a little bit differently. But he did start picking it up during the middle of the season when he wasn't hurt. His game also got a little bit more elevated with the fact that he did improve his playmaking next to Anthony Edwards. And he also does kind of feel like a jack of all trades type of player. I would say his biggest weaknesses and why he's not even on the actual tier list is the fact that he's not great off the ball. His decision making is still questionable from time to time. Like, I really don't need this guy grabbing the rebound in transition and then all of a sudden it ends up in the 5th row in the stands. And honestly, he really isn't efficient enough to make a lot of the type of shots that he does in transition sometimes, and his defense does need a lot of work. My next honorable mention is Draymond Green. This one actually kind of really hurt me to put him on this list, because throughout his entire career, he's been so consistent. He's a great secondary playmaker, especially next to Steph Curry. He shot a lot more threes than I expected last year. I actually think it was a career high in attempts, which really isn't a lot if you think about it, but I am impressed with the fact that he was taking a lot more threes. He was third in DPOY voting last year as well. He still made first team all defense at his older age. He's like, what, 34, 35 at this point? He is also the defensive anchor of the team, and he's kind of been the defensive anchor of the team for a while, maybe about maybe the last decade or so. And he's just got so much versatility as a defender. He's never going to be a great scorer / shooter, which is why Charles Barkley basically gave him the name triple single. He won't score a lot, but he will try to get to double-digit points sometimes here and there. But obviously, his biggest thing is the fact that he can play defense and that he's a secondary playmaker. And the biggest thing is that he just needs to stay out of trouble. Period. Don't want any fists flying anywhere. And my last honorable mention is Jason Tatum. To be honest with you, if he wasn't injured, he would probably be number 3 on this list. His playmaking has improved over the years. His defense has been developing each year pretty solidly. His shooting has been efficient throughout these last few years. And he's really evolved as an all-around type player these last few seasons as well. My biggest question is, how is he going to look on the defensive side of the ball after his Achilles tear? And is he going to return this year? Because there have been a lot of talks from his camp that he does want to end up playing this year. And to start off with my top 10 list, at number 10, I've got Jalen Johnson. So far throughout the last 3 lists that I've done, I would say he's the biggest player with the biggest exception right now. He only played 36 games last year, which is less than half the season. When he did play in those 36 games, he looked really solid. He averaged 5 assists a game, which averaging 5 on a Trae Young team is actually really good because it does show that he's not the only ball handler on the team. Also, I think one of the biggest things that I really love about him is the fact that he can catch a body every chance he gets. He's super athletic. He is the ideal secondary ball handler right next to Trae Young, or at least he's displayed that ability. He rebounds pretty well on both ends. If he continues to show this consistent type of play that he did before he got injured, I do believe that he would make the All-Star team this year. His biggest weakness, I would say, is the fact that his 3-point shot can be improved upon. But with the amount of times that he's missed, he's also the type of guy, like I said earlier, to catch a body. So if he does miss the shot or it does bounce off the rim, I kind of expect him to grab the offensive rebound and put it back. At number 9, I've got Aaron Gordon. The last 2 to 3 years, he's been the glue guy for the Nuggets. And honestly, ever since he got to the Nuggets, I feel like his game has improved. Like, he found the proper role for him. He's the perfect four-man right next to Jokic. He's a nice secondary ball handler even though he doesn't dribble very well. He's a great lob catcher and a solid three-point shooter still. Defensively, I knew that he was good at the perimeter, but honestly his rim protection last year really surprised me. And while I say that he's a good secondary ball handler, I do kind of feel like he could do a better job of creating his own shot, because most of the time when I feel like he handles the ball, he's not handling it to try to get his own shot, but to rather get someone else a shot. At number 8, I've got Scotty Barnes. His defense is very versatile, and he does kind of feel like a better offensive version of Draymond Green. Playmaking is his strong point, and I do feel like he's going to have an interesting season this year. His mid-range shot is good, but he does have to work on his three-point shot. With the way that his three-point shooting is, it's kind of the same way that Draymond's is, where they're not really going to respect him on that end. And he's also not really good in transition, which is kind of weird because you would expect a guy that handles the ball or is a very good playmaker to be able to be scoring in transition, but it's just not something that he's really regularly doing. And my biggest question for him right now is the fact that with Quickly being healthy and Brandon Ingram being added to the team, how much is his ball handling responsibility going to shrink, or how much of it is going to go up? Because both of those guys do need the ball in their hands to kind of be effective, although Brandon Ingram has taken a lot more catch and shoot threes, so maybe that won't be that much of an issue with Scotty. At number 7, I've got Chet Holmgren. To be honest with you, I kind of feel like he could be classified as a center, but with the fact that the Thunder have been rolling out a 2-big lineup a lot of the time, I feel like he's probably going to be the guy ending up playing the 4. His offense looked really bad during the playoffs. Like, sometimes it just felt like he was taking shots and he just wasn't making them. But one of the biggest benefits of the way that he plays his offense is the fact that he can create his own shot. His defense throughout the regular season and playoffs really looked good, but that's not really any news to anyone. He's an amazing shot blocker and paint defender, and I feel like if Wemby did not exist, he would have the DPOY pretty much on lock. I also do feel like he could be a lot higher on this list, but the one thing that holds him back is his health. At number 6, I've got Jaren Jackson Jr., who's actually wearing the number 8 now for some reason. Offensively, his game has always been improving every year. He's a very efficient scorer, and with no Desmond Bane on the team this year and KCP being his replacement, it kind of feels like his scoring is bound to go up. When Ja Morant got injured last year, he was putting the ball on the floor a lot more, and when he did handle the ball, he was driving to the rim a lot more. He's a great rim protector. He was the DPOY like 2 years ago. He still doesn't rebound great, and he also does need to stay out of foul trouble. Boy literally cannot keep his hands to himself a lot of the times, and sometimes he does overhelp on the defense, which is kind of funny because he is the defensive player of the year. But there are times where he would be on the perimeter guarding someone, and then someone would drive to the paint and he would overhelp on that. So that's something that I think can be really improved on, but the foul thing is something that has to be really improved on. At number 5, I've got Pascal Siakam. Ever since his 2019 MIP year, he's shown a lot of growth in his offense, or just in his game in general. I do think he's probably the most underrated player in the league, although I feel like he did get a lot of shine when he was in Toronto and now that he was on the Pacers in the finals last year. He was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and honestly, as much as I really do like Tyrese Halliburton, he was very deserving of that award. He has a great motor and work ethic. It really feels like he's a really good voice in the locker room for a lot of the guys. He's a great player in transition, and that's what really got him his Most Improved Player award, other than the fact that all of his numbers did jump up. I think that was the thing that really stood out for me when he did win it. His three-point shot has been solid for years, and because of the way that he operates in transition, he does really feel like he was the perfect mate for Tyrese Halliburton. He's a good passer and solid defender. I don't really know if there's much left to say really about Pascal Siakam. He's just overall great. At number 4, I've got Paolo Banchero. Offensively, he's really a great number 1 option. And despite the fact that the Magic have really bad spacing last year, well, hopefully until this year with Desmond Bane, he's been a really good finisher at the rim despite the fact that everything is really clogged up in Orlando. His mid-range game is good. He does draw contact and get to the line a fair amount. His long-range shooting is improving, like his three-point shot and everything. And he has shown that he is a playoff performer because him and Franz really felt like the people that were carrying that team to any sort of close game in the playoffs. I would say his biggest weakness is not even his fault actually, and hopefully it won't be his fault this year, but because of the lack of spacing on the teams that he's been on, he's been forced to take a lot of difficult shots that won't really go in and they're not really considered efficient. And I also do feel like he should use his body more to draw fouls because he is a really big guy. Pause. At number 3, I've got the Defensive Player of the Year winner, Evan Mobley. He's a great shot blocker and rebounder. He's been amazing since his rookie year. He was actually one of my favorite rookies when he got drafted. After his first playoff run, he did put on a lot lot of weight, and along with that weight, his offense did take a very big step. His shooting has improved every year of his career. He can put the ball on the floor and play make a little, and I feel like if his shooting does improve a lot more throughout his career, he could really draw a lot of Kevin Garnett type comparisons. At number 2, we've got Anthony Davis. We all know what he provides. He's got the ability to make his own shots. His mid-range game is always really good. The way that he plays his defense in the paint can really get him in Defensive Player of the Year conversations a lot, and it basically has been his entire career. He's a really good help defender. His IQ has always been really good because of the fact that he was, I feel like everyone knows this, but he was playing point guard originally, and then all of a sudden he got his growth spurt and became a power forward / center. And I feel like the biggest question that I have for him is, with the age and with the amount of injury history he's had, how much time is really left for this guy? And also, I feel like everyone and their mother has been saying this, but he should be playing the 5. But he's the type of guy that doesn't really want to absorb the contact, and he does want to stay a 4. Even though I feel like when he was playing the 5, every time he's played the 5, his numbers look really good. He just looks really good in general. It's just he doesn't really want the contact. And it does make sense because of his injury history and everything like that. But I really do feel like he's a 5 and not a 4 at the end of the day. But I put him on this list because he prefers to play the 4. And at number 1, it should be pretty obvious. We have the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the most dominant player in the game right now. I don't think he's at Shaq levels of dominance, but he has shown that basically no one can really stop him. Not one single person, at least. We know how much of a freak he is on the court and off the court, I guess. He's one of the best, if not the best, help defender in the league right now. The biggest issue is that he just needs a better team around him. He also needs to stay healthy towards the end of the season. I also do feel like he's never going to be like LeBron in the fact that he can carry a mediocre team throughout the entire playoffs and into the finals. And I feel like the biggest question for him throughout his entire career, and even still now after he won a championship, is how much longer will his loyalty to the Bucks really hold up? Every year he's talked about, oh yeah, I do want to stay, but I want this team to get better. But how long is the leash on this? That's the biggest question we really should be having for Giannis. Other than that, as an individual, he is going to be the number 1 power forward on this list for maybe the next few years still. But I just really hope that he can win another ring because Giannis is such a lovable player. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Okay, thanks. Bye. Centers tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. Bye.